Happy Wednesday. Jam
Got
session.
a quick jam session today.
Yep.
Oh, Adrienne, like it's not enough that you had a whole
I
call
can't get
with
enough
me?
of you guys
Oh,
today. And after our call,
yay.
Vito, I got on and I listened to you on the sales thing from Monday. I was like, oh, enough of this guy.
Agreed. Try living with him. Try living with him.
That's the truth. I can't live with myself.
That's funny.
Okay, do you got this all thing set up here?
Yeah.
Or what?
Yeah.
Okay, because then let's jam and let's talk about brand defining offers
Yeah,
here,
well,
people.
Getting blinded.
I'm just going to switch this to the chat because Anna has it on something weird, but get the chat on this one
Okay. It's
so we
on.
can see. Sorry. I mean, you figure 3 times in, we would have figured this crap out.
Well, we just like, we're
Go
not.
to more.
Oh.
Or go. What the fuck?
There it is.
Got it. Jiminy.
We just want to have the chat. So if you guys have anything you want to drop in, feel free. We like being able to see your comments.
Okay. Jesus, that was a freaking annoying. But we're in. We're live. We're going. Anna, it's another jam session with VNA here.
And we're pumped to talk about offers because Andrea can attest, Aaron can attest. They're in our program, and creating an offer that sells is probably the hardest thing you'll do in your business. And that's your moneymaker. It's the most important part. I mean, one of the most important parts.
But besides being an offer that sells,
Yeah.
Anna, it's about having the brand defining offer.
That's right.
The offer that, like, if you're like, what is that? It's the offer that is literally what you're known for, what you stand for. It speaks to the outcome, the transformation that you are going to be out there. And it's the signature thing that builds the backbone of the brand. I'll give you guys a couple of examples of like signature offers. Those of you that know Brendon Burchard, High Performance Academy and High Performance Coaching is a signature offer, right? Those of you that have ever been in the online world, Jeff Walker, Product Launch Formula. I think it's his only offer besides a mastermind.
Yeah.
Literally one offer and a mastermind is the whole backbone. Marie Folio, B School. Have you guys heard of that program? It's signature brand defining offer that built the backbone of everything. You're on the hunt to create that for your brand. So you have that first offer that like literally builds the audience, builds the case studies, builds the testimonial, builds your name, builds your message, builds your offer out there that also cash flows the business and gets it going.
Yeah.
Your $47 product, $97 product, it's not a brand defining offer. It's an offer, but it's not the brand defining one. The one that you're like, this has to be out number one so I can get known and I can have people out there talking about what I do.
That's right. And when Vito says brand defining and he's like running with these big brands that are pretty well known in the online business space, like PLF and High Performance Academy and B School, it's like they aren't just putting out a small little thing that's going to help you go from A to B. They're putting out something that's going to create a major transformation for people, and it's what they're known for in the market. So a brand defining offer isn't just like a little piece of what you offer. It's the biggest version of what you could offer someone. It is the biggest transformation, that high value transformation that you can offer to the world so that, you know, that's what you'll get known for, not just the first piece, but the whole process. And I think that so many of us go into thinking like, oh, I just need to like get something out to get something out. And so we think small. But when it comes to going out with your first offer, you want to go big.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like people can get in the game. Like I got in the game with my GTM2 system and Thinner Winner system and things like that. I just did not learn early on the difference between having courses and things like that as compared to the brand defining offer.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the difference maker. And we're here to be able to be like, for you, if we can learn from the mistakes that we made early on and you can come out with stuff. And it's not to be like, yo, you got a course and you're putting it out. Stop doing what you're doing.
No.
No, because I don't know where your business is at. We don't know what's going on with your life, your income, etc. But the more you can laser focus on, can I take the time to define and build my signature offer, my signature system, you will go better out into the market, get known faster, build better audience, make more money faster than if you're like, I'm just trying a bunch of little products out there, or I'm putting my service and my stuff out, versus really being like, this is the thing I'm going to be known for. It was the difference between, Aaron, remember when we were like all of a sudden being like, we tried a bunch of different little things, and then you're like, get out the box. And we're like, there it is. And then we're able to be like, now that we got the message, we can build the system. And all of a sudden you're like, this is my voice finally coming out. This is my creativity getting put into this. And this is what I'm going to be known for out in the world. That's how we build brand. So there's a difference often in these conversations between I'm making some money, I'm selling some courses, I have a business, and I'm building brand. Mm-hmm. Brand is bigger. It's message oriented. It's transformation oriented, solution oriented. So in this work that we're all trying to do, it's like, what is yours? Because ultimately the thing has to answer a couple things. It has to answer out there if it's going to be brand defining, and we're using that as the bucket that we're putting all this conversation in under. It has to be able to speak to and tell the market who you serve. You're like, if it doesn't do that, I need to do some fine tuning on it. And it's not that you can't get in the game with what you got, but the more of it where you're like, can I really get this thing named, honed in around, so a person can look at it and be like, I get who you serve. Then it's got to also answer what you do. And it can hint at how you do it. Now, it's not going to be like, I'm going to give you the steps in it. It's like, let's use Jeff Walker's product launch formula, because it's a well-known thing early on in the days and whatnot. But he's just like, people who want to launch a product. That's it. I mean, that's people who you serve, people that want to launch a freaking product.
Yep.
What do? I
teach them product launch formula.
Teach them product launch formula.
He got known for that. I mean, that's his pretty much only offer.
He's
product launch formula.
He's the innovator of the 3 PLC videos, pre-launch content 1, 2, and 3.
Pretty aligned with who he's helping, huh? If you could have something that aligned, you're in good freaking shape, right?
And all he did was honestly, he just took a sales letter and he learned how to turn it sideways and cut it into videos instead of into a long form sales letter. That's how he came up with it. But he's just like, I teach the 3 PLC. That's it. And that has been millions. And he's almost only done that besides masterminds that talk about uber focus, because for him, it was just like, I want my lifestyle. I ain't trying to be the $80 million guru, go out and build a bunch of shit. He's like, I teach people how to launch a product. I built product launch formula. There's a 3-step process to it, and I've mastered it. You want to learn it from me? I got you. And it gave him the life that he freaking wanted, living in Durango. He was one of my first early mentors back in the freaking day. Changed my life. Yep. He helped me do my first freaking like 5-figure launch. The famous one when I smashed my head on the plane and whatnot, and this and that and all that. But nonetheless, definitely changed my life. That's the thing.
And those 3 things that Vito just said, it seems so simple, but it's very difficult to narrow it down and to really define who you serve, what you do, and how you do it, like how you deliver what you do. Those 3 things are, it takes a little bit of time. It takes some brainstorming. It takes some really focus, because, so many of us experts and creatives, we could do a million things, right? But we have to get focused and really laser down exactly, get clear. Because if you're not really clear and it takes you 10 minutes to explain to somebody what you do, that's going to be tough to sell. Right? It's going to be tough for people to be like, yep, that's me. That's what I need. I'm in, because I see that there's this thing called the bridge. And one of the things that I've been talking to our students a lot about is that when you're putting an offer out there, our tendency is to talk about all the stuff that comes in our offer. Like, oh, you're going to get coaching sessions with me, and you're going to get a new meal plan, and you're going to get all these videos, and you're going to get all this stuff, right? Nobody cares about our stuff. They care about their problem being solved. So when you're putting out your offer, the most important thing is to show people that you can bridge the gap from where they are to where they want to go. And as you share your offer, all you're doing is bridging the gap, saying, oh, you're right here. You got this big problem and you feel like going over here, experiencing this massive transformation in your life. Well, here's what I do. And here's how I do it. And you show them how you do it by bridging the gap. And you don't have to teach them everything, but if you can clearly show them you have a way to the solution they want, that's when people are excited. That's when they're like, how do I do this? How do I sign up? How do I get going here? And a lot of times I had to stop myself in a lot of the fitness programs I used to promote because I'm like, nobody cares about the stuff. They care about themselves getting a result. And so if I can show them that I have a way to get them the result, that's all they care about. So that's something to think about when you're putting an offer together, even if you're talking to somebody on the phone or you're putting it on a sales page. What's the bridge look like?
Well, agreed. But
it's always a but. You guys, Vito never just says, great job, Anna. Good explanation.
What do you mean? I said,
but he's always said, agreed, but.
Okay, agreed. And
there's always a Vito version.
And
there you go. And that's good.
What the thing about this thing when you're really to get to the root of creating a brand defining offer, you have to truly decide what's my message, what's the thing I'm going to go out there and be about, because we'll revert to our expertise and the things that we know and our knowledge as compared to the message that we want to have out there. So that's the big struggle. That's where everybody gets stuck. And I think we because I just see her right now with Erin there. When we figured out it was the message of get outside the box, blow up the box, open the box, and all those metaphors and whatnot, we're able to be like, okay, now we can start forming curriculum, stuff that has to happen, phases, pillars, and all the things that make up an offer. But if we don't know the message, then we're just going to try to jam our expertise in it as compared to creating that logical bridge that I'm talking about.
Then there's no method to the madness. It's like trying to give them all your stuff. I'm trying to teach them everything I know, but there's not really this big picture that it starts with, which is the message and really defining the problem and the transformation. And that is everything to your audience. That's all they care about. Do you understand me? Do you understand where I'm at?
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand where I'm trying to go? Do you understand what I want? And if you do and you get that, your messaging is nailing that, people are going to flock to you.
Well, that message is the first thing that stirs them up.
Yeah.
So your brand defining offer has to have a way of stirring up the person that you want to take action to fight literally gravity on their ass and holding their hand from hitting the buy button. They're literally like, right now, something is holding me back. And you feel like I can inspire and motivate them to say no more to the way I'm living, whatever that thing is that you're doing. You're like, I won't even be able to get an offer out because they are not paying attention to the message and not inspired by the idea that I've got to stop the way I'm living. There is another way to live. That's that whole thing I'm always talking all about. Like, you got to give them the hoorah, but you got to also be showing them the do-rah, because there's nothing like, I don't say this is not, I'm exaggerating this if I say this, but it adds to the point. There's nothing worse than a message that can't be backed by a method, because you're like, then it's just pure inspiration, but never leads to the transformation. That's why we love the idea of build your signature system, because the system is the curriculum. The offer is just how a person gets it and showing them the time frame that they get it in. Those of you that have been on our calls recently, remember that we talked about those 5 keys to your offer. Can you speak to the size of the problem? How big is it in their life? So for Erin, to somebody that is playing small, not living into their world, has shut down their dreams, has shut down their voice, has stayed inside the box that society, a relationship, a family has put them in.
Environment, yeah.
has to be able to be like, that could cost you the rest of your life. It could cost you years of regret, years of never stepping into your potential, years of potential abuse and feeling small by others. And has to be like, that ain't just like, I got a headache today. That's just like a life unlived. And if you're not thinking, how do I articulate the size of the problem, you're missing one of the elements that makes a brand defining offer, because I'm going to be able to describe it to them.
Mm-hmm.
So right now you're thinking for yourselves, like, how do I understand how big the problem is to my audience? If not, I got to write that. I got to work on that.
Yeah.
I got to keep refining that. Think about it. Find analogies, metaphors, stories, ways to tell it, so that I can get them to see that this ain't a small deal. That makes sense?
And if that's hard for some of you guys to do right away, you have to just keep digging deeper. When you think you know what their problem is, you got to ask yourself, like, well, why do they have that problem? And what's that causing in their life? Wow. If it's causing that in their life, then what is that causing? So you like almost got to keep digging into, like, okay, if it's a weight loss problem, for instance, right? Like they're like, oh, I keep gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight. And it's just so frustrating, right? Well, it's like, yeah, well, it's frustrating, but is that like a burst pipe in your life? Is that the message? Is that going to really get people to take action? Maybe not. But it's like, but what is that causing? Well, it's making me feel bad about myself. It makes me feel like a failure. It makes me feel like I can't achieve what I want. It makes me feel like I'm incapable of doing things. It makes me look in the mirror and not like what I see. Ooh, now we're getting to some stuff, right? And so you keep digging and thinking about what are the reasons why this is holding you back, or what is it causing in your life, to try to really get to the real meat of the problem.
And also to refine your audience down. Because
Yeah.
let's just use this weight loss example type thing. There's a difference between the person that is just like, I'm pissed over the 15, 20, 30 pounds I yo-yo diet in, as compared to the person that you're like, if you don't lose the weight and you're diabetic, they're amputating your leg. That's a different size of problem that you're like, oh, if I could talk to the
Right.
person that the size of the problem is that drastic, I have a better chance of them saying, I got to take action now, because now that I see how big the problem is and I don't do something about it, the consequence is freaking real.
Yeah.
Is real. When the consequence doesn't feel real to the person or feel important or consequential, they just delay buying decisions because they're
Totally.
like,
I can wait.
yeah, so
That
my
would be
jeans
nice.
don't fit the way they want, and
So I got to buy a new pair.
yeah, all right, I'll wait for the freaking like grapefruit kiwi diet enema thing to come out, or the new pill thing that they found, etc. Blah blah blah. So you're always trying to just dig in size.
Yeah.
Next thing, that if you can dial this in, it will help define your offer better, is the time that your audience has been struggling with that problem. So how long has that person been struggling? If it's been like a hot minute, it's going to be tough to get the person to make the decision to act and buy and move forward. But if the person's like, I've been struggling with this thing for freaking 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, etc. Pain is a great market for, like, that's a big thing in the pain market.
Yeah.
Because the person's, it's like being like, I've had this back pain for 10 years. Different than I have a little
It's-
muscle back
yeah,
spasm
and
going
it-
on right now.
And the ripple effect of 10 years of back pain, what that does to your life, right? So if you can get yourself out of that.
And that's your job as the marketer of your business, is to
Yeah.
be like, what are the things in that? Let's just use this 10 years of back pain example. What are the things that happened in those 10 years? Did the person
lack
be
of
like,
activity,
I
weight gain,
but also like the memories and moments missed with their kids
can't play with
because
your
they can't play with them.
kids.
Like I had a back spasm last week, and not being able to pick up Luca and play
we
with
all
Luca for
had
the
to
rest of
hear about it.
I was just like, that's-
boo-hoo. He's such a wuss.
I just want you
He's
guys to
such a
see.
wuss, you guys.
I just want you guys
I'm like,
to
you haven't had a
see.
child, and you want to cry to me about a little back spasm.
Please, it's because I carry the burden of Anna on my shoulders, and it's just tense in my back all the time.
He's like, Luca, I can't pick you up.
Stay in bed, boy, because I have to pick you up again.
Convert the crib to the toddler bed now. But yeah,
if you guys want to write in any comments about how Anna
he
is mean
was
to me, please send it to Vito.
He was totally taken out of his, mood. He was in a totally bad mood. He didn't have the energy that he normally has because he wasn't working out. He felt like he couldn't play with Luca the same. Like all these things in his life
I was sharing
changed
this with
with one
Adrienne
back
today, though,
spasm.
because I'm like that last week was annoying and uncomfortable. But flash forward to 2001 when I had a 13 millimeter herniation in my L5S1, and I'm dragging my leg around Manhattan that I could not get a block without having to stop and lean on a wall and be like, okay, I can get to the corner, etc. That was a different sense.
I think he had
of
flashbacks.
Pain. I couldn't work well. There was no rockin' Manhattan, if you know what I'm talking about, because of the pain I was in, people.
Such a lady.
I couldn't go out into the clubs doing my normal cutting moves.
He is a good dancer, though.
And whatnot. So that's different. Your job is to be like, yo, what is what's the 13 millimeter herniation in my client's life right now that is debilitating them from moving forward in their life? And I need to shine the light on it. That makes sense? Makes sense? Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
What other questions you got to answer for yourselves?
Yeah.
I said time, size, speed. You need to know how quick you can get people results.
People like to know timelines. Offer. Like when you're giving your offer, and a lot of people are like, well, how long should my program take? I'm like, as long as it needs to take, right, to deliver the transformation. And if it does take 3 months, if it takes 6 months, you also want to show them like the milestones along the way that they'll hit. So you're not just like, it's going to take you 6 months to get there. Like, ooh, some people are going to be like, well, wait.
Correct. So I always try to say that first serve going the distance of what it takes to get the whole transformation.
Yep.
And then learn that if you're like, an example, we teach brand building and thing, then I'm like, honestly, if I was to be honest, I'm like, it's a 2-year freaking process at minimum type shit. But selling 2 years is near impossible. So then you're like, okay, what can I sell in a year? But then when we found our gold standard offer is at the 6-month mark, we're like, okay, because we tested 2-year sales, 1-year sales, 3-month sales, 6. What's the difference between the 3-month client and the 6-month client? What's the difference between the 1-year client and being like, yo, our best are our 6-month and 1-year clients?
Yep.
How do we put more into those offers? Because we're like, these are the ones that are getting our best students, our best case studies, our best testimonials, our best things. So you're like, I got to figure out, first, let me just see what the hell it would take me to get this transformation. Yeah. Then from there, let me start making some of these offers and see where people are like, no. In particular, in a pain market or something like that, they're like, a year? No freaking way. So you have to be like, what can I promise at 1 month, 3 month, etc. It's up to you to kind of define those things.
When we were working with Dr. Vince, and he's a pain specialist, he's like, I can get people pain-free in 4 weeks. He's like, but to be pain-free for life, that's my 6-month program. Because I can get you out of pain in 4 weeks.
I think it was a year program.
Yeah, but he's like, I can do that. I can deliver that. But if you want to be pain-free, live pain-free, then that's my 6 to a year program. So you can also make promises if you can deliver fast transformation, but it's extended too from just like what you got to do to immediately get a result to a sustainable result in your program, depending on what you're serving.
And the faster to result, the higher you can charge.
Yeah.
The longer to result, the more a person feels. And again, I'm grossly generalizing markets right here. Depends on back to the next question. What's the complexity or sophistication of what you're solving? If you're trying to unpack years of mental damage and emotional baggage and this and that, you might be like, I'm lying to you if I'm saying I can get you out of this in 4 weeks.
And that was also like
ending
Michelle,
chronic yo-yo dieting. You're
the
like,
Healthy
dude.
Family Fix. She helps families who have children dealing with childhood obesity. And she's like, this isn't something fit. Like, I can't do this in a couple weeks. She's like, this is a 6-month process that I need to work with a family. And that's just being honest.
Yeah.
But she knows her market and she knows her process.
It's like if we were saying to somebody, to build your brand out, I'm like, it's a year. But if I wanted to be like how to create just your offer, I'd be like, oh yeah, we could do that in 3 months. But I'm like, to build the brand and build like, it ain't gonna happen in 3 months. So you can learn to package your offers to the specific thing that you're like, I can do it in this time frame. And sometimes you'll find that you're like, when I do that, that becomes a winning offer. The way I was packaging it before, people weren't getting it. But when I said, hey, your offer is the most important thing, otherwise you're not even in the market. You can't take money, you can't cash flow the business, nobody can know you and whatnot. Have you been struggling to build your offer? We'll teach you in 3 months in our accelerator how to build your freaking signature system and offer. Woo, that was selling. Awesome. You find, you tweak, you play around with these things. This is the real workout of all you will have in building brand out there.
Yeah.
And last one, what was my last one? Certainty. Certainty.
Yeah. How certain are you that you can deliver the transformation? How confident are you in going out there and sharing the message and sharing what you're capable of doing?
Oh, let me hit this because I got to bounce off. And Adrienne asked, what are the 3 P's to 4Xing and 10X pricing? Okay. It's almost what we were just saying, but different. The people who truly have that exasperated problem. Because the person that's been like, I've been suffering with it long. It's a big effing problem in my life. I want the result fast. I've been trying many things to get this, and it's hard for me to figure out. And you're really certain that you can get that over. That person, you can freaking start changing your pricing. Because that person's willing to pay more than the person that's like, I don't really think this is a problem in my life. I really don't care.
So
how
it's the
I
right
get this.
people.
So it's the right people that have the answer to those 5 things that we said. Then actually being able to demonstrate process.
That's the
process,
bridge.
because that's the bridge, because that shows there is a method to delivering the result. And people, Adrienne, remember we were talking about this today? People are like, I need to see the big picture and I need to know there's steps there. Well, if we remember that one fact, then you like demonstrate process all the time and you can put a premium on it. Because just a catchy line that Brendan once taught me, the premium is in the process. I always say the money's in the method. That's it. So demonstrate you got a method.
And we all know this to be true because we can go to Google and like research something. But then when you actually want to have some kind of massive transformation, you always look to a coach because they have curated more than just information. Right?
And the third P is make a promise. That's basically your claim.
Mm-hmm.
You're like,
the message.
Yeah, exactly. Like 10X your, 6 figures a month in YouTube ads. That's actually a promise. Super basic, right? What's your promise? What's your claim to the market? Because if you have the right people with the right promise and you can show a process, you get paid what you want. And it ain't too bad that you live your purpose. So that will help you 10X and 4X your pricing, etc. People, promise, process, paid, live your purpose. And the inner game mindset shift. That you are worth this and that you have the ability to be certain about it. The thing that's holding a lot of people back is the certainty. I feel I can do it.
Yeah.
Instead of them playing small, they're afraid to put it out there. But that's why you got that process. That's why we do that work inside our program to make sure that you guys are building a process.
That
because
builds
then
your
you can build your
confidence.
certainty up, which builds your confidence. And sometimes you're like, I'm in it. This is the best level of certainty. It was more certainty than I had before. But then just like you work through it, like Adrienne, when we work through it today. And all of a sudden you're like, okay, this is starting to take it. Your certainty will go up another notch. Then you're going to run people through and figure out what worked, what didn't. Fix it. Certainty goes up. Run more people through. What worked, what didn't. It gets up. And you just keep refining and refining and refining.
Yep.
So hopefully, guys, that serves you. I'm going to let Anna take over because I've got to jump on a call from there.
We both do.
You do too?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully then that little quick jam session right there on how to freaking go create a brand defining offer.
Lots to think
your
about.
Mind in the game. Hey, I think it's only Terry here, Julia and whatnot. Hey, if you guys want to jump on a call with us, let us know because we've got one spot in the March 25th and the April 8th Vision in the Vineyards. Maybe you want some help creating this brand defining offer and this system. So reach out to us. Let's see if it's the right fit for you. If not, keep doing the work that you're doing. Go out, because the people that need you are waiting on this process that you got to get out there with certainty so you can go build the back of your band because you got paid well. Go do it, people. Peace
See you
out.
guys.
Ciao. You need that? I got to jump off.